Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nicole Pretry, and it is my honor today to welcome you all here on behalf of Cedar Community's Board of Directors and Administration and all of our team members. I also really want to extend an extra special welcome to Audrey Schowalter, our guest of honor today, and her family who are here as well, I know scattered among the crowds, and all of the residents who came to share in Audrey's celebration today. So thank you all for being here. We are very pleased that you're all here today to join us in this afternoon celebration of, it's a legacy of faith and service is really what we're celebrating here today. On this day, we are very pleased to be able to rededicate this beautiful sculpture that's behind me, now in its new home here on the Cedar Ridge campus. Before we move on with the full program today, I just want to take a moment to frame today's program as part of the larger story of Cedar Community. It's a story of unwavering vision, commitment to service, and it's founded in faith. Cedar Community itself began as a gift of land, one man's vision, and thousands of hours of volunteer service. Back in 1953, our founder, Reverend Louis Riche, was committed to establishing a place where older adults could spend their retirement years living with purpose and dignity and in friendship and fellowship. Tirelessly engaging the support of area UCC congregations, civic groups, and others in the greater Milwaukee area, over the next 38 years, he raised the money and the volunteers necessary to grow Cedar Community from its first 18-bed nursing home to multiple campuses serving those in independent living, assisted living, memory care, skilled nursing, and home health and hospice. It was during those early years of our story that Reverend Philip and Audrey Schowalter came to Cedar Community to take the helm here at Cedar Ridge in 1986. While still under construction, Philip and Audrey were the first resident managers to move to this facility here. Together, they managed all aspects of campus development, including construction oversight, apartment rentals, and eventually serving the needs of new residents as the building managers. And they did this through Philip's passing in 1989. Audrey has shared some fun and remarkable stories from those early years here at Cedar Ridge. For example, as the building manager, the on-call phone rang directly into their apartment, 24/7. Audrey was never not on duty unless she was at church. I would have gone to church a lot if I were you, Audrey. Yes. She and Philip served in every role imaginable here, from chief cook and bottle washer to the maintenance team to the administration team to doing the rentals, general management. They did it all here, and they did it together. To say that the success of this Cedar Ridge campus was due to the tireless and dedicated service of Philip and Audrey would not be an exaggeration. To that end, when Philip passed in 1989, Reverend Riche commissioned and dedicated this sculpture behind me in Philip's memory. The story of Cedar Ridge and Cedar Community continues to be written today. Just 2 years ago, we embarked on that new ambitious project on the north side of this campus, where we wanted to welcome more friends and neighbors through the Cedar Ridge Homes construction. That construction, though, was what spurred the need to relocate this sculpture, because it used to sit up there on the north campus when you'd come into the campus. We worked with Audrey, and with her blessing, the sculpture was carefully removed and stored while that construction began. And with the help of many of our team members here, and I want to give a point out to Scott Rissy over there, our grounds manager, who has done a remarkable job of taking care of the sculpture and finding this perfect spot for it here, who retires next week, by the way, and we're not happy about that. But he found this location here where the sculpture overlooks the pond, this beautiful building, all of the residents here, and it will serve as an iconic reminder of Philip and Audrey's legacy of service for many years to come as our story continues here at Cedar Community. And while our friend Audrey has not served as the Cedar Ridge manager for a long time, I'm sure she's pretty happy about that. Her contributions and leadership here continue. She's a loving and dedicated neighbor to all here. She is a holder of much of our institutional knowledge and memory, She was Cedar Ridge's very first resident along with Philip, and she remains a hugely important part of our story. We're so happy to have you here, Audrey. We're blessed.
This sculpture memorializes deep spiritual grounding and committed leadership and service. But as individuals, as a community, and as an organization that inherited that legacy, we are now called to tend to the spiritual well-being of self and others, to lead in our lives and in our roles with joy-filled hope and endurance, and to serve the emerging needs around us. As we rededicate this sculpture today and recall the legacy of the Reverend Philip and Audrey Schowalter, may we celebrate their contributions to life at Cedar Community, and may we continue to create enriching and engaging life and living that can be enjoyed now and in the years to come.
I've always been called Mini Phil by my family. I'm not really sure why. I don't have any plaid pants. I don't own a plaid suit. Grandpa was known to eat the whole apple, core and all. I've never done that. I think it's the hairline. I can thank Grandpa for that someday, so thank you for that, Grandpa. But Cedar Community meant a lot to Grandpa, and it still does to Grandma, obviously. And he was very, very involved in the programs and the mission while he was in ministry. Obviously, the mission of Cedar Community is to model Christ's love for humanity by creating life-enhancing relationships, services, and environments. And Grandpa was very, very involved in all of that from the beginning of Cedar Ridge, and helped to make it a community where seniors would be able to live with purpose, dignity, and I think the idea of it being, faith-based was very, very important to him, obviously being a minister. I don't have a lot of memories of Grandpa. I was pretty young when he passed away, but I do remember coming up to visit Grandma, and I can verify that phone in her apartment. I remember that thing ringing. That definitely happened when she was still the manager. But we drive in and see that statue up on the hill, and Grandma would let us know. My mom would say, that's for Grandpa. And it was always pretty neat to see that coming in and know that, Grandpa was still here kind of watching over us. And that's kind of how I always remembered that up on the hill and in its new beautiful spot here. Grandpa loved the outdoors, and to have the sculpture in this spot you couldn't ask for a better location, really. This is my first time seeing it here, so it really, really looks nice. Grandpa would really love that it would be there, and I also think, the ring is a symbol. It's very fitting because it represents eternity and timelessness. Grandpa spent a lifetime serving several Midwest communities as a pastor, and was here for the creation of this community. At the time, this was quite a new concept, and I can only imagine how proud he would be to see everybody here today and see what this place has become. Just amazing.
Thank you for those great memories. Telling Grandpa stories, there's nothing like it. So I'm going to read along. If you'd like to read along with me, I'm going to read the eternal life on the back of this as part of our dedication today. Reverend Louis Reich, Cedar Community visionary and founder, commissioned the work Eternal Life in 1989 as a memorial to Reverend Philip Schowalter in thanks and gratitude for his faithful service. In 1990, the work was dedicated at the northwest entrance of the Cedar Ridge campus, where Philip and Audrey served as the first managers of this newly constructed campus. The abstract work was intended to evoke the strong spiritual legacy of Pastor Schowalter. Words from the day, original dedication text describe the work in this way. 3 steel triangular sections representing the Holy Trinity and a strong spiritual foundation. 2 outstretched steel arms representing welcome and service. And 1 stainless steel ring in the center of the sculpture representing the fulfillment of Christ's redeeming work. Today, August 22nd, 2021, we proudly rededicate the work to honor Reverend Philip and Audrey Schowalter for their faithful service, joyful commitment, and legacy of leadership here at Cedar Community. And that's what this stone here says. So the original plaque is actually right here. And we still have it, but we really felt in this beautiful space, we wanted to bring this stone in and add these words in honor of Audrey and Pastor Philip. Audrey, congratulations. Thank you for being here. Thank you all for coming today. It was wonderful to see you all. Have a great afternoon.